Almost good to go, getting close to it. Good morning, Steph. Good to have you with us. Getting ready for the final countdown. I've made the intro shorter so you don't have to sit through everything, because I got quicker at getting my stuff sorted. Oh, but look at those transitions. All right, it's the final countdown. Ooh, nice. Hey, hybrid events. They've been touted as the future, and I've been on a few of late. Here's what they got wrong. More importantly, here's what we as an industry can get right. Hi everybody, my name's Warwick Merry. I am a triple certified speaking professional, certified virtual presenter, and really passionate about getting events online, including in the hybrid space. So thank you so much, everyone, for being with me today. Yes, Kim, 2 Warwicks, 1 day. That's got to be something good, I've got to say. Hey, hybrid events. I've been on a lot of events of late. Some strictly online, some hybrid. Haven't been to any face-to-face events yet, but it won't be long. But we're getting a lot of stuff wrong with our hybrid events, and that's okay. I'm a big believer in fail faster. Let's try things, let's get better. So please, anything I say today, I am not having a go at anyone. All I'm trying to do is share some experiences so we can get better. So if you know someone who's looking at doing online events, please share this stream with them. They might find something of value in it if you're an event organizer or you're running events. So let's get on with it. So I've got about, how many have we got? 7 things that I reckon that we can make online events a whole lot easier. And there's a ton of tools out there that you can use. So let me just go through them. And I think one of the most important things, by the way, my underlying tenet for everything, particularly with events going forwards, is people want an event done with them and not just to them. And this is what I'm seeing so often, particularly in the hybrid space. We're just like, let's just shove the events to them. Yes, Steph, particularly for music, because the biggest issue with hybrid events is sound. So, Steph, we can talk about that. Steph has put a comment on Facebook saying that she is considering hybrid music events. Amazing ukulele player and singer, that young Steph Payne. Get in touch with her if you want some of that. So, the number one thing is don't forget your audience. Online or in person. It's really interesting. There's a couple of events that I was speaking to the people who were in person who were like, I didn't know what was going on. When something was happening on stream, they sort of forgot about people in the room. It's more of a challenge. You're really juggling that, who's online, who's in person, how do I play to both? Often it's the online people who get forgotten, because the people in the room have the energy and you're all excited. But don't forget that you've probably got 2, 3, 4, 5 times as many people down the barrel of the camera. And not just from the main stage, because if you're saying, hey, let's just stand up and go and meet someone on the other side of the room, you've got to make sure that you are giving someone online instructions. One of the events I was at, they were doing this, and the first time they did the exercise, we just watched on the camera thinking, okay, what do we do? And the second time, all of a sudden, we just went boom, and the camera, the app changed, and we're in breakout rooms that you could say, yes, I'll join a breakout room. There was no instruction. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't know how long we were there for. We didn't know what we were trying to get out of it. So there has to be more coordination to make sure you don't forget the audience, which plays into my next piece, which is you've got to host every room. You can't just have one MC in one location and go, no worries, they're going to host this physical location, that physical location, and the online. You actually need a host in each room. And they've got to lead, because people hate surprises. Like, we like a nice surprise, but we don't like sitting there going, what should I be doing? We need to be led, so we can be told, hey, for those of us physically here in Canberra, we got the main session is running in this room, and we've got breakout number 2 running in the next room, and that'll be happening, blah, 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 blah. Why wouldn't we be doing that online as well? You can't just have an online host going, hey, here we are, we're all online, and the streams will start soon. You need to make sure, well, who's doing the introductions? Is there going to be introductions? If you've got a pre-record, do you introduce the pre-recorded event, or you just press play? So these are things that have to be considered. And at the end of the day, your host, be it online or face-to-face, is the person who everyone is looking to say, guide me through this. Help make this easier for me. Really interested for those. I've got a few people who are commenting. If you have had some experience with that, what have you liked and not liked about how the hosts have worked both live and interface and live and online? And that comes to my third point, which is get professional hosts. Like, seriously, get professional hosts. Get people who know what they're doing. It makes a massive difference. They are your central figure point. And look, and if you're an association without the budget and you're thinking, okay, well, we'll just use some internals, get them trained. Get someone to train them just on the basics of what they have to do. There's been too many examples of people coming on going, oh, hi, I'm your online host. You'll see the menu over here. Just click where you want to go. Thank you. And they're off. And it's just like, oh my God. So get a professional host. And if you're in New Zealand, Steve from This Is Rabbit, he's the guy from the goat. He's the Feed the Goat. Go, Steve. But get a professional host. Seriously, often the hosts are the last ones considered. You look at the budget of what can we have for speakers. Oh, we better get a host in as well. Start with the host. Once you've got the host, that doesn't matter how crappy a speaker is, and we've all had crappy speakers, the host will just make sure everything goes. So, yep, New Zealand, Steve Lyon, he's the man. Australia, me, I'm the man. Or be whatever you want me to be. But look good. Have your hosts looking good, even your online hosts. There's been a couple of events where they'll have online hosts. They've got massive headphones and a big speaker thing at the front and a bright fluoro cable coming down. It's really distracting. It's a bit like, you know, when you see a speaker who doesn't know what they're doing with a lapel, so they have the lapel central and they have the cable hanging down in a massive loop near their crotch, and it is so distracting. So make sure you make sure they look good. It doesn't take much to, let's just tuck this cable behind you. And I get you've got to have a headset, but maybe you've got in-ear buds or like just have make it look good. Look, I've got to tell you, if it doesn't look good, it's not going to ruin the show, but it removes a barrier. So just make sure they know what they're doing and that they look good. All right. The other thing, and I'm finding this with a lot of the online hybrid events, is the software and systems that have been built with automation. So it becomes, oh, that session finishes in 15 minutes time. And at the end of the 15 minutes, boom, it's just cut off. And this happened to me on a couple of events I've been on. What had happened is the speaker had finished, the face-to-face host in one of the venues was talking, and all of a sudden, boom, we just got cut. The next event didn't start for 5 minutes, and so we're sitting there for 5 minutes doing nothing. Because here's the problem. Yes, it's efficient, and yes, well, that had ended, and so we're just moving you on. But if you give me 5 minutes of blank space, one of my options is to leave and not come back. So with any event, you do not want them to leave. So don't let them leave. So keep them engaged. For you to extend that 5 minutes and have them online, because for me to jump from one room to the next is 10 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Like, it's so easy. So make sure that you've got a human running the show, not the computer. Yes, it's easy, but what happens is if things shuffle and you've got to extend, so why wouldn't you just have a manual end? So at the end of at a nice logical end point, you can say, okay, we're going to stop the on stream so they go back to the main room, not just cut halfway through. This happened with some networking groups too. Because we weren't properly briefed on what was going to happen, we're having a great conversation, all of a sudden 10 seconds to go, 3, 2, 1, bang, done. And then we went back and there was only 6 people in the room, so we went back to the same group anyway. So have someone looking going, there's only the 6 people in the room, let's just let it run. So make sure that you've got a human running show, not the computer. Yeah, use the tools, and yes, I'm the first to admit, running online, it's very, very quickly ends, but don't just automate it. Another thing that was really pissed me off, and I'll use that language infrequently online, but it annoyed me, is you've got an app and you've got the online system. So I'm watching the event in one thing and I've got the app in the other, but I'm sitting here with 3 screens and a keyboard. I could easily contribute to the app stream online using a keyboard versus my thumbs. I want to be able to contribute to what's going on in the app on the actual streaming, what's going on. So we have to find a way to connect the two. Again, it's about how do I make it easy? How do I make this so I can be part of it and contribute? What I find is when we go hybrid, there's just this massive distance in the room. And I was talking to some people who are in the room at some of these events saying there was no energy. Because yes, you've got to sit wide and you've got to sit apart. And the MC was telling jokes, and I've got to tell you, some of the MC's jokes weren't that funny. But there was just, you need Steve. Steve's funny as hell, and I love him. But you need to have, some energy going on. But there's just too much distance. So you need to create a way that there's a constant conference stream so everyone can keep involved with what's going on. I think that makes it easier, makes it more enjoyable. I was making a comment about one of the particular apps that we're running hybrids on and saying that it's really well created and it's a great app, but it looks like it's been created for the event organizers and not for the delegate. If your hybrid event, if it does not revolve completely around the delegates, you've lost. Because what's going to happen is they'll go, well, that was a crap experience. I'm not going to go to next year's. And I've already spoken to a few people about a couple of different events that have happening over the last month. And they're like, yeah, it was okay, but I'm not going back. So you might get them this time, you won't get them next time. So you've got to make it revolve around. Now, if that means as the organizer or the speaker or the host, if that means you've got to work a little bit harder, suck it up. It has to be about the delegate. And the AV crew, get better. Like, seriously, that you're going to have to be an octopus and press a load of buttons, I know, and I know there's a lot going on. So it may mean that you're going to need more people. It may mean it's going to cost the organisation more. But if you want to do this, do it well. Don't stuff around the edges and do it poorly. Do it well. You've got to make the delegate feel special. And if you have to work harder to do it, it's what you've got to do. All right. Now, again, let me wrap this up by saying I am not having a crack at anyone running events. These are hard events, and they're hard to just do last minute and trying to blend live with recorded, with streamed, with inspiration, with prizes. It's hard. There's no doubt about it. And we're doing okay, but it's just okay. And we can do better. And we can do better and not have to spend a farm to do it. So I wanted to give you those quick ideas. Let me recap really quickly. Don't forget about your audience. Online, in person, each audience has to be played to. So have a host for each of those audiences and make sure they're entertained. Make sure they're a pro host. Get pro hosts to do this, to build that energy, keep the energy up there. And pro hosts will work with low energy rooms and build it, I tell you. Look good. Make sure that how you look and the equipment you're using doesn't get in the road of being awesome. Combine your app and your hybrid system somehow so that you only really need to be in one place and get everything that you can. And then finally, make your delegate feel special. Hey, I hope you're feeling special. It's a Thursday here where I am. That's got to be a good thing. One of my favourite 7 days. I love those days that end in Y. If I can help you at all, reach out to me because I happen to be a host as well as a someone who produces online events. So I'm happy to help in any shape, manner or form if I can. I'm always happy to just have a conversation, to be honest. I love talking about events. So reach out if I can help you. Love it if you could share this around. I'm here every Thursday at 11 a.m. I reckon over the Christmas break, I'll even still be here because I love the sound of my own voice. Today's gone a little bit longer than usual, but I had to get off my chest some of the things that were annoying me. So I hope that was good. Awesome. Loving your work. Thanks for being here. I look forward to your company next time. You've been fantastic. I've been Warwick. See you then. I've just got to find the stop.